Okay, guys, good morning. Karma Trader 1 second. And this is the first trading day of the week of December. Okay, so here I'm trading uh, NASDAQ because I only trade NASDAQ. Okay, so we have news at 10 a.m. What I'm expecting today to happen is to have a big drop to the downside. The reason why I'm expecting that is because we crossed around, we crossed through this fair value gap that was like a key point uh, for our structure. Okay, I can be wrong today. I can be wrong. Many things can be happening. Why I say that? Because this candle that you see here, we closed above it. We closed above this fair value gap, which for me is not a very good indicator, but I still think we're going to be making a retracement to the downside. Okay, we are still respecting this fair value gap here. Let me show you. Let me put it shaded. So we're respecting that just there. See how we continue going down. So I'm going to be having this shaded, but just like that, so we can be depending on the other aspects. Also, we have this 50 minutes fair value gap, the purple rectangle that you see, that also we are respecting it. Okay, let me just see how it goes. So yeah, right now we expect to have a drop down to the below the blue square that is here. Also, the opening gap on Friday was at 1 p.m. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, it should be today an easy, very easy short day. So we shouldn't be worried about anything. This should be the highest point that we get in the market. Should be this one. Uh, I'm not saying it's going to be the highest point, but for everything to be as I want it to be, it should be a perfect place to stay in. Also, we have here at 7:45 a.m. This sell side liquidity that remained intact during this bounce to the buy side. Okay, so following the paradigm that I tell you guys, that usually on Mondays we either make a movement to the buy side or to the downside, just as some sort of opposite direction to the real movement that the market wants to follow for the rest of the week. So this could be an indicator that we are going to drop, but uh, my real thoughts were that I was expecting Sunday to be an opening to the downside and non-stop to the downside, then a retracement, and then continuation to the downside. Even though I like how it is going, and even though I like what it is showing here, I still think the market is not very clear for me. So yeah, I would expect to see the market just dropping from here right now. It can take its time, but I want to see 7:45 a.m. liquidity taken before 9 10 a.m. Okay, so yes, we can make a slow run to the downside. It's not very much, just 20 points to the downside. Why in like in many, maybe in any other day, I would say that we still have room to go higher. But why I don't say that today? Why I'm so confident that we will just drop? Well, guys, the reason is because we have these key points. Okay, so we have many key points up here, and remember the last times we touched these fair value gaps, what happened? Look, we touch this fair value gap, we drop. We touch it here, we drop. We touch it here, insane drop. And look all the time that we took to get back to it, we drop. So I think this is not going to be the exception today. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be the exception forever, because it's not gonna be like that. Okay, but today for me is not gonna be the exception. Okay, so let's see. Going all the way up here right now for me, just I don't know, if I were the market, it would be just too easy to guess. Okay, so it is the start of the week, it is December, many things happen, uh, so why not playing games? Like, give me a reason, if you were the market, not to play games with people when you have a fucking very easy position. Like, when you have these kind of setups, where it is just too easy to guess that you are going to go higher. Okay, so yeah, I mean, anything can happen today. Remember, it's Monday. We can either be playing around this range one more time the whole day, playing just inside this range, 100 points range. For me, it's gonna be an easy Asian range, low and lower, like at least here for me to 2800, 20,800. For me, it should be an easy road there, but you never know. Okay, you never know. So you need just to be careful to see how it delivers and all those stuffs. Okay, so right now we just have 10 points, which 10 points is awesome. Having 10 points as profit is very good. We are just going to hold a little bit. I like this. I like how we delivered here. Two displacements that didn't complete its way to the downside. Okay, but we keep respecting this fair value gap. So I'm taking this as some sort of first stage of accumulation to the downside. Okay, we're going to have a very tight stop loss today. So let's see how it goes. Just as I said, I'm expecting a slow run to this sell side liquidity, but just as we get close to 9, 10 and further, I expect faster movements to the downside. Okay, why? Because if we want to get there, if we want to get to 800, we will need to have at least fast movements to the middle point of the Asian range that was formed during the night. Okay, so yeah, so we can still have a bounce to the buy side. Okay, so we need to be mindful of that, guys. Okay, so here I'm going to be putting my stop loss just there, just here. Okay, so we leave our stop losses there. That's fine. It got hit. It's okay. We lost basically nothing. So right now we just wait to see how it goes. Okay, maybe this is a little bit early time to trade, but we're going to make it anyways, just as every day we do. Okay, so we still have this one open. We have news at 10, at 9:45. So I'm tempted to take another trade here. Let me just see. Okay, I took the trade here to the downside again. Why did I take it, guys? Because here we were just too close to getting swept, but it didn't happen. Okay, so we can still reverse. Yes, I'm open for that to happen, but as I said, I think we are in a very fantastic position for a drop. Okay, if we go higher, I mean, what can you do? That's part of the game, and um, you have to be mindful of that. Like, if you trade and you think you're not gonna lose, you're doing the things wrong, because even though you know a lot, even though you know how the market's gonna move, sometimes the market just makes crazy things, and it goes all of a sudden in one single sweep to your stop loss, and you're out. Okay, so it can be predictable, yes, but sometimes it cannot be predictable. Okay, and even though if after that sweep the market does whatever you were expecting the market to do, that single move that liquidated you is enough to say that the market is not predictable at 100%. Okay, and you have to be mindful of that information. So I'm very happy to see how it is going right now. And I want to see it continue going down with just perfect stop loss just there. Let's see how it continues to go. Okay, do you see what I was just talking about? One single sweep, trying to just reach a previous liquidity again, but we're going to be just waiting. If this trade doesn't go as planned, I will be waiting for the opening or close to the opening. Okay, why? Because for me, going higher than this, like this high, shouldn't be a thing. Okay, so for me, staying inside this fair value gap should be the thing. See how we continue getting close to where my stop loss is. Seems like we're going to be stopped out. Seems like, but not getting stopped out yet. Okay. So I would like to see a drop to the downside just below this previous candle to the one that is forming, in order to stick with no hesitations of my trade to the downside. Okay, I want to see it below. Fantastic. It doesn't mean it will continue just going lower, but it is a fantastic indicator that we probably will push to the downside. Okay, also closing below it, it's just fantastic. Okay, so let's wait because we can still have a movement to the upside. Okay, which I wouldn't expect that to happen, but it still is a possibility. Okay, so as I always say, you have to keep in mind all the possible risks that you are taking when you are trading. Okay, so I'm going to stay in this chart. So yeah, let's see how it moves. Let's see how it moves here. So yeah, it is just doing its thing. So let's see. I think my dog just fart because it's smelling a little bit bad. But you know. So I don't care about this because, as I said, I'm expecting a slow movement to the downside. And you see how we don't go anywhere, we just stay here inside this range because if we start going down immediately, it's going to be too obvious that we want to go lower. Okay, so also getting too close to this liquidity as soon as possible, it's not market a market thing, you know. A 7:45 a.m. liquidity in the 50-minute chart is a liquidity that you always have to keep in mind. Okay, uh, why? Because if we don't want to get through it during or before the opening, we will probably make a drop, get like this close, like one tick, two ticks, uh, before sweeping it, and then reversing all the way up or all the way to the opposite direction of where that liquidity is. Okay, so va a pasar. So as I was saying, it will tend to get as close as possible and reverse all the way back to the opposite direction of that liquidity. Okay, if we don't want to sweep it before the opening. But as I'm saying, today is going to be a drop day, and tomorrow is going to be a drop day as well. And probably tomorrow is going to be the last drop day that we will have for at least a week or probably 2 weeks. We don't know yet. Uh, so, due to that, getting close right now to then reverse wouldn't be the most smart thing to do, but getting away from it when we don't want to get away from it wouldn't be the smartest thing to do either. So what is the best fit possible, at least in my mind, to stay inside this range, making higher movements, lower movements, and just staying like that until we get close to 9:10, as I told you, or 9:15. Why? Because during that time, we can be making hard drops because the open is going to get close to happen and the market starts to get crazy. Okay, so doing it around that time will give the market the opportunity to just go wherever it wants to go, you know. So yeah. So I'm going to be holding, but I'm not going to be holding that much. Okay. Um, I wouldn't like to see very hard retracements above this. Why? Because uh, we can still play games to the buy side, which I don't think so, but it can still happen, and I don't want to be part of those games today. Okay, I want to be part. Just look at that drop. Look at that drop. I'm fucking telling you. Just see how you don't need news to drop the market. Look, news are at 9:45, but we just had a big drop to the downside. Just see how we dropped in less than a second. It didn't even show in the screen. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You don't need news to do this kind of shit, you know. So some people think that if you don't have news in the market, it is not possible uh, to move 100 points. But bro, the thing is, it's not necessary. Okay. So right now, we will wait. These hard movements are just for me an indicator that we cannot wait to go lower. We want to go already, but the market is taking its time, you know. So we need to just follow along to see how it goes, to see how it works. That's it, my friends. It's just as easy as being patient. So this is just going fantastic. I'm not speaking too much because I've already said everything that I needed to say. Eh, right now, I'm just waiting to see the sweep to the downside. If we go lower, guys, to the middle point of the Asian range that was formed during the night, before 9:15, we will probably have a very hard dump in the market that for me wouldn't stop here, but at least here. And why I say that? Because we still have to come down here to 2,400 basically. So doing a drop of 200 points today and then doing tomorrow a 700 drop, for me it's not going to be a thing. Okay, so getting as low as possible today for a continuation tomorrow, for me it's the best fit to happen. Okay, so right now it's doing fantastic. The market, it's doing its continuation to the downside, very slow. Just as I told you guys, here we have already 600, just great, fantastic. Here I'm going to be probably taking it out at 100 ticks. This is just great. I'm going to be closing this one, I think. Yeah, this one is close, and this one I'm going to let it run a little bit further, I think. Let me see. I want 100 ticks in this one, so let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to be closing it here, guys. um I'm going to wait to see what happens before the opening, and I'm gonna be back with you. Okay. Okay, guys. So here, I would like to see a hard drop to the downside, but since we got too close to this liquidity, 745 ABM liquidity before 910, I don't feel too comfy expecting the market to continue its way down. So what I would expect to see is a retracement, and that retracement taking until 920, around that time. And at 920, we are gonna be dropping non-stop. So at 920, 915, I'm going to be taking my next trade. So for now, I'm going to be out. I don't know why this is not focusing my face. Let me see. Well, I don't know, but anyways. So see you guys in 30 minutes, basically.